For today's episode, we are stepping into one of the most popular places for people to meet, work, and relax all over the world. We're talking about the modern cafe. I can almost smell the coffee beans already. We're calling this episode Your Perfect Brew. I'm actually recording from a lovely cafe right now, so you can probably hear the gentle hum of the espresso machine and the clinking of cups in the background. It's a sound that millions of us associate with starting our day, catching up with a friend, or finding a quiet corner to work. The cafe has become what sociologists call a third place. It's not your home the first place, and it's not your work the second place, but a third place, a neutral ground where you can relax, connect with others, and be part of a community. These places are vital hubs in our towns and cities. The one I'm in now has a wonderful ambiance. So, what does ambiance mean exactly? The ambiance of a place is its character, mood, and atmosphere. The comfortable chairs, the warm lighting, the quiet music, the smell of coffee, all of that contributes to the cafe's cozy and relaxing ambience. The decor, or the style of decoration, is minimalist and modern, with lots of light wood and green plants. And the other patrons, the other customers, seem to be a mix of students, typing on laptops, and friends chatting quietly. It's the overall feeling of the place, and it's a huge part of why we choose one cafe over another. But the main reason we're here, of course, is for the drinks. I love coming to places like this, but I have to admit, it can be a little intimidating looking at a cafe menu. There are so many choices. Have you ever just panicked and ordered a regular black coffee? I know I have, but you could be missing out on a world of delicious drinks. Let's break down the menu together. It's not as complicated as it looks. First, let's tackle the heart of the modern cafe menu. Espresso-based drinks. The foundation of all these drinks is, of course, the espresso. Espresso is a concentrated form of coffee, brewed by forcing hot water under high pressure through finely ground coffee beans. A shot is a single serving, typically about 30 milliliters or 1 ounce. You'll often hear the person who makes the coffee, the artist behind the counter, called a barista. A barista is a person who is professionally trained to prepare and serve espresso-based coffee drinks. A skilled barista can pull a perfect shot of espresso, which will have a beautiful layer of reddish-brown foam on top called crema. Now, from that single shot of espresso, a whole world of drinks is born. Let's talk about the 3 drinks you see on almost every menu that seem almost the same. The latte, the cappuccino, and the flat white. Too many people, they just seem like different names for coffee with milk. But there are key differences. They are all made with espresso and steamed milk, but the main difference is the texture and the ratio of milk to coffee. A cappuccino has equal parts espresso, steamed milk, and a thick airy layer of milk foam on top. It's light and frothy. A latte has much more steamed milk and just a little bit of foam, so it's a creamier, milder drink. The milk is the star of the show, and a flat white is similar to a latte, but has even less foam, just a very thin, flat layer of silky microfoam. It has a stronger, more intense coffee flavor than a latte, because the ratio of coffee to milk is higher, so it's all about the foam and the strength. If you want your drink even stronger, you can ask for a double shot, sometimes called a doppio. That's just twice the amount of espresso, which makes the drink much more caffeinated and robust. You can even get more specific with your espresso. A ristretto shot uses the same amount of coffee but is extracted with about half the amount of water, making it even more concentrated and sweet. A lungo, on the other hand, is extracted with twice the amount of water, making it a larger, less concentrated, and more bitter shot. And of course, there's the Americano, which is a shot of espresso diluted with hot water, giving it a similar strength too, but a different flavor from regular drip coffee. Speaking of which, what if you don't want an espresso-based drink? Let's explore other brewing methods. The most common is drip coffee, which is what most people make at home in an automatic machine. The machine heats the water and drips it over the coffee grounds in a filter. It's consistent and easy. But in many specialty you'll see manual brewing methods that give the barista more control. A pour-over is a manual version of drip coffee. The barista slowly pours hot water by hand in a spiral pattern over the grounds. Coffee lovers say this method gives them more control over the water temperature and pouring speed, which brings out more of the coffee's complex flavors. It's more of an artisanal process. Then you have immersion methods. A French press involves steeping coffee grounds in hot water in a beaker and then pressing a plunger down to separate the grounds from the coffee. This creates a full-bodied, rich, and sometimes slightly gritty cup of coffee. An AeroPress is a more modern invention that uses air pressure to push the coffee through a filter, resulting in a very smooth, clean cup that's somewhere between espresso and pour-over. And for a truly theatrical experience, some offer siphon coffee, which looks like a science experiment with 2 glass chambers, using vacuum pressure to brew the coffee. And we can't forget the new king of summer drinks. Cold brew. Cold brew is coffee that is steeped in cold, or room temperature, water for a very long time, usually 12 to 24 hours. This slow, gentle process results in a coffee concentrate that is very smooth, low in acidity, and naturally sweet. It's then diluted with water or milk and served over ice. It's completely different from regular iced coffee, which is just hot brewed coffee that has been cooled down. It really does sound like an art and a science. I think we're ready for our first learning check. Okay, listeners, here is your first question. What is the main difference between a cappuccino and a flat white? The main difference is the milk texture and the coffee-to-milk ratio. A cappuccino has a thick, airy layer of foam, while a flat white has a very thin, silky layer of microfoam and a stronger coffee flavor. Perfect. And question number 2. What is the defining characteristic of cold brew coffee? Cold brew is defined by its brewing process. Steeping coffee grounds in cold water for a long period of time, which results in a smooth, acid coffee concentrate. Excellent. Now that we've mastered coffee, what about tea? Not everyone is a coffee drinker, and modern have an incredible selection of teas. The main categories you'll see are black tea, green tea, white tea, oolong tea, and herbal infusions. The first four all come from the same plant, Camellia sinensis, and the difference between them is the level of oxidation, how long the leaves are exposed to air after being picked. Black tea, like English breakfast or Earl Grey, is fully oxidized, giving it a dark color and a strong, robust flavor. Green tea, like sencha or matcha, is not oxidized at all, which preserves its green color and gives it a lighter, more grassy flavor. White tea is the least processed of all, and has a very delicate, subtle flavor. Oolong tea is partially oxidized, so its flavor is somewhere between black and green tea. Herbal infusions, on the other hand, are not technically teas at all, because they don't come from the tea plant. They are made from steeping herbs, fruits, flowers, or spices in hot water. Think of chamomile, peppermint, or rooibos tea. They are naturally caffeine-free. Two very popular tea-based drinks. In are the chai latte and the matcha latte. A chai latte is made with concentrated spiced black tea, steamed milk, and a sweetener. A matcha latte is made with finely ground green tea powder, whisked with hot water and then mixed with steamed milk. Both are delicious, creamy alternatives to coffee. Okay, I'm feeling much more confident about the entire drink menu. Now, what about the food? Let's look at that food case. They have a great selection of pastries. A pastry is a general term for sweet baked goods made from flour, sugar, milk, and butter. This can include croissants, which are flaky, crescent-shaped French pastries, scones, which are lightly sweetened biscuits, often served with jam and cream, muffins, danishes, and even more delicate items like macarons, which are small, colorful, meringue-based cookies with a creamy filling. Beyond the sweet treats, many serve savory options, especially for breakfast and lunch. I see they make a great panini here. I've always wondered about that. What makes a sandwich a panini? A panini is an Italian-style sandwich that is made with non-sliced bread, like ciabatta or focaccia. The key is that it's pressed and heated, either on a grill or in a panini press. That's what gives it those nice grill marks and melts the cheese inside. You might also see bagels, which are dense, chewy bread rings that are boiled before being baked, and wraps, which are sandwiches made with a soft flatbread rolled around a filling. Many have also become famous for brunch, a late-morning meal that combines breakfast and lunch. You'll often see things like avocado toast or granola bowls on the menu, and it's great to see they have some gluten-free and vegan options for people with dietary restrictions. This is all making me very hungry. But before we order, let's talk about the culture and etiquette of being in a cafe. This has become a very hot topic in recent years. With the rise of remote work, more and more people use as their office. You might hear them jokingly called laptop campers. This is a tricky issue. On one hand, want to be welcoming community hubs. On the other hand, they are businesses, and if a person takes up a table for 4 hours and only buys one small coffee, the cafe is losing money. The general rule of cafe etiquette is to be considerate. If you plan to stay for a long time, you should order food and drinks periodically. Don't take up a large table by yourself during a busy lunch rush, and please, take your phone calls outside. Another aspect of cafe culture is the rise of the reusable cup, or keep cup. As people have become more aware of the waste created by disposable to-go cups, many now bring their own. Some even offer a small discount if you do. And finally, there's the question of tipping. In some countries, like the United States, it is customary to leave a tip for the barista, either in a jar on the counter or digitally when you pay. In many other parts of the world, tipping is not expected. It's always a good idea to observe what the locals are doing. This has been an entire course. On cafe culture. This calls for our next learning check. Okay, listeners, here is question number 3. What is the main difference between black tea and green tea? The main difference is the level of oxidation. Black tea leaves are fully oxidized, which gives them a dark color and strong flavor, while green tea leaves are not oxidized, resulting in a lighter color and more delicate, grassy taste. Excellent. And question number 4. What is a polite rule of cafe etiquette if you plan to work in a cafe for several hours? A polite rule is to be a considerate customer. You should buy food and drinks regularly to support the business. And avoid taking up a large table for a long time, especially when the cafe is busy. Perfect. Well, I am officially ready to order with confidence. No more panic ordering for me. Let's talk through the process. When you get to the counter, they'll usually ask if your order is for here or to go. For here means you'll be enjoying it in the cafe, so they'll give it to you in a ceramic mug. To go means you're taking it out, so it will come in a disposable paper cup. Let's imagine I'm ordering. I could say, "Can I get a large decaf latte with oat milk, for here please?" Let's break that down. I've specified the size, the type of coffee, the type of milk, and where I'll be drinking it. Being specific is very helpful for the barista. What if I'm not sure what to order? I could ask, "Could you recommend something?" I like sweet, creamy drinks, but not too strong. The barista might suggest a caramel macchiato or a mocha. Sometimes you might hear people ask for the house blend. What does that refer to? The house blend is the cafe's signature, everyday drip coffee. It's usually a balanced, medium roast coffee that is designed to appeal to most customers. It's a safe and reliable choice. Speaking of which, the roast is important. The roast refers to how long the coffee beans have been roasted. A light roast is lighter in color and has a more acidic, fruity or floral flavor. A dark roast is dark brown, oily, and has a bolder, smokier, more bitter flavor, and a medium roast is somewhere in between. The flavor profile of a coffee refers to its combination of aroma, the smell, acidity, the bright tangy quality, and body, the texture or weight of the coffee in your mouth. Wow, it's a whole language. Before we do our final recap, let's take a quick trip back in time. The cafe has a rich history. The first coffee houses appeared in the Middle East and the Ottoman Empire in the 15th and 16th centuries. They were centers of social and intellectual life. When they spread to London in the 17th century, they became known as penny universities because for the price of a cup of coffee, 1 penny, you could listen to and participate in fascinating conversations with writers, scientists, and politicians. In Paris, became famous as the meeting places for revolutionaries and philosophers. The coffee culture we know today is often described in waves. The first wave was the popularization of instant coffee for home consumption. The second wave, led by companies like Starbucks, introduced the culture of espresso-based drinks and the cafe as a third place. And the third wave, which is what many specialty represent today, is all about treating coffee as an artisanal product, focusing on things like single-origin beans, beans from a specific farm or region, and manual brewing methods, like the pour. What an incredible journey from a simple bean to a global cultural phenomenon. Let's do a final rapid-fire recap of all the amazing vocabulary we've covered today. Third place, hub, ambience, decor, patrons, espresso, barista, latte, cappuccino, flat white, double shot, ristretto, lungo, americano, drip coffee, pour over, French press, aeropress, siphon, cold brew, black tea, green tea, herbal infusion, chai latte, matcha, pastry, croissant, scone, macaron, panini, bagel, wrap, brunch, gluten-free, vegan, cafe etiquette, laptop camper, keep cup, tipping, to go, house blend, roast, flavor profile, aroma, acidity, body, coffee house, penny university, second wave coffee, third wave coffee, and single origin. Wow, that is a full menu of useful vocabulary. I sincerely hope that breaking these terms down has helped you understand them better and feel more confident. The next time you step into a cafe, that is always our goal here at the English Learn Zone. If you found this episode helpful, and I hope you did, please take a moment to give this video a like and, most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our future lessons. Your support truly helps us continue creating this content for our amazing community of learners all around the world. Thank you for joining us for this extended dive into the world of. We'll talk to you in the next episode. Until then, I hope you enjoy your next coffee, and happy learning, everyone.